Time to put the loss behind us, and now on to Cincinnati. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for another Chicago Bears preview as we are in week 9 of the 2025 NFL season. And the Bears sitting at 4-3, traveling on the road, coming off of a loss to the Baltimore Ravens to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. One thing I will say about this game, it's a lot to talk about. Now, I want to let you guys know ahead of time, the video format will be just a little bit different than what I'm usually doing in these preview videos. And I will let you guys just watch along to kind of see where I'm going to go with this. Just trying something out a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to do, you know, kind of freshen things up and switch things up a little bit. But before I get into this preview, make sure you guys give this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And the goal is for 6K subs before the end of 2025, and clicking that subscribe button will do a great deal of getting me there. I'm about 150 away. So just continue to help this channel to grow. I want to continue to do more things and grow, but I don't want to make this intro any longer than it already has been. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, coming into this ball game with the Chicago Bears in itself, the Bears to me are a team that we live and die by the turnover. The last 2 games of our win streak, and last week is another proof of that, we kind of live and die by our run game. So the fact that the Bears weren't able to get turnovers last week hurt us, and then the fact that we weren't able to run the football last week also hurt us. Now, another thing that's hurting this ball game is damn near the entire Bears weaponry. Swift, Odunze, Moore, Zacchaeus, Kmet, Burden, Roschon, all, at the time of me recording this video, are questionable for this ball game, and it's going to suck to have those guys out. Now, the Bengals have their own injuries when we're talking about Trey Hendrickson. We're talking about Logan Wilson is questionable. And then on top of that, Joe Flacco is questionable, which it's one of those things like it's kind of had this team, I want to say, Joe Flacco has kind of gave them some bit of a resurgence. And if we're talking about this team at this point, the Bengals are a team that is 3-5. Yes, but I just personally think that this Bengals football team, it's a little rough around the edges when we're talking about both sides of the football, as we're talking about their defense, which is ranked dead last in the NFL. Dead last. They are dead last against the run. They are 30th against the pass. Now, Bears defensively are not much better, 27th against the run. 30th or 13th, against the pass. Now, the one thing the Bears have kind of struggled with the last couple of weeks, and something that the Bengals have, their own offense has kind of flourished a bit, is throwing the football. Caleb Williams has not been playing his best football the past couple of weeks. Now, I am one to kind of always say that Caleb needs some patience. It's still year 1 of Ben Johnson offense. It's not one of those things that, like, to me, it's not one of those things that I think is going to, because I've seen a lot of the pressure, I've seen a lot of the online talk, is like, get him out of here, pump the brakes on that. But having all of these injuries for the Bears could cost us this game. It's one of those things where we're talking about the Bears run game versus this Bengals defense that could be without Trey Hendrickson. I think if we're talking about a ball game like this, I think this is one of those ball games as a key is I think the Bears are going to have to run the football. They're going to have to pound the football. If there are secondary injuries, whether we're talking about Tyreek Stevenson, who looks like he could be a full go. The Bears signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I haven't talked about that too much on the social platforms, but I think If he cuts the attitude, his talent is one that can fit in this Dennis Allen defense. But one thing that we're also going to have to do as a defense, and you guys can kind of see I'm kind of all over the place with this preview. I'm just talking about the full game in totality. The one thing the Bears are going to have to do, like I said, is control the clock, pound the rock, run the football, and then we're talking about the Bears on the defensive side of the ball. You are going to have to get pressure. You already have Jaylon Johnson, who's been out majority of the season now. Kyler Gordon is yet out again. So, and then you're going up against this Bengals offense that possesses Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And Iosivas, I think that's how Iosivas, he's been playing some really good football for them. So the one thing, if you can, to keep your secondary off, keep your secondary not to cover so much, one. Two, keep your defense off of the field with the Bengals offense that can be explosive, with Chase Brown running the football at a much better rate than what they've been used to, is as the Bears offensively, you're going to have to sustain some long drives, run the football very well, and win time of possession that limits the Cincinnati Bengals possessions. Also, the turnovers are going to have to come back in a ball game like this with the Bengals offense we've seen with Flacco that can score some points. You're going to have to get after the quarterback, whether it's Sweat, and I don't think a Dangbo, he's been getting a lot of criticism, rightfully so, for the contract that he signed in the offseason. And for me personally, he hasn't really lived up to it. He hasn't really been consistent enough. We know Edmunds and Edwards are two really good linebackers who I think have been having some really good seasons. And to cover the tight end, Noah Fant, who can get himself involved in a ball game, I think you're going to have to do that. Yo, what's up, guys? APW Sports here, and today's video is being brought to you by ExpressVPN. Now, there's a few things I really like about having ExpressVPN. One, I feel protected being on the internet a lot as a content creator, or being on the internet, period, especially in the 2025 modern era. You're going to need protections from hackers. You're going to need protections from your passwords. You're going to need protections from your vital credit card, vital personal information. ExpressVPN does an excellent job of protecting you. And also, if things happen to slip or if things have been exposed before, you will get alerts to your phone that will let you know that things have been exposed to the dark web and that you should take action. And then another thing that I really like about it is that you can unlock more of Netflix. Now, me personally, if you guys don't know, I am a big WWE fan. And since the WWE has a partnership with Netflix in the international areas, you can get your PLEs, you can get your Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all things WWE on Netflix. Best thing to do, switch your location to say a Canada, to say a United Kingdom, and bam, there you go. You have all your access to your WWE content, and it unlocks more things that necessarily United States does not carry. And that is another thing that I really love about ExpressVPN. So to get yours today and get 3 months free, click the link below and use code APW Sports at checkout to get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. You will not regret that at all. Best investment you will ever make. Protect yourself and unlock more television on Netflix to watch. Now, we're going to get back to this video. Then on top of that, we're talking about the secondary. Just hold up as much as you can against this wide receiving core. I think that's the most that you can ask for, especially in a ball game like this where Joe Flacco, if he's able to play, and that's going to be a big thing, at the time of me recording this, they have him listed as questionable for this ball game. But when we're talking about this particular unit with the Bengals offense and this Bears defense that has been not great against the run besides the 1 week against the New Orleans Saints, then on top of that, when we're talking about this Bears offense, they're going to have to run the football. So I'm going to get into these keys. One, you're going to have to win time of possession because of your injuries to your secondary. Because last week, they kind of got exposed. You got injuries to your defensive line. We're talking about Dominic Robinson, who's doubtful for this game. Shamar Turner torn his ACL. He's been put on IR. And Grady Jarrett's been in and out of the lineup due to injury. Sweat has been kind of hit or miss. Dangbo hasn't been the guy that we thought he was going to be. You're going to have to control that clock and run the football at this Bengals defense that has been terrible against the run. I think key number 2 is for the Bears on the defensive side of the ball, you are going to have to get pressure on Flacco or Jake Browning, whoever the quarterback is that plays in this ball game. Get pressure, get turnovers, get pressure, get turnovers, because with the Bengals offense, once they get kind of explosive and once they've been rolling, even with Flacco now, it is an offense that is going to be hard to stop. And we don't want to have to continue to blitz to get home to the quarterback. And that is one thing that I've kind of seen with this Bears defense. If you could get home with your front four, that will make things so much better and so much more. You can play a little bit more coverage if you're able to get home with your front four. Something the Bears have not really done too well this season. And I think key number 3, you have to get Caleb. To me, I think this is a game you have to get Caleb Williams. You got to get him in rhythm a bit early. Get him some easier completions. We know the Bears have been solid at these first 15 scripted plays. They did so last week. But I just want to see a game where after the first 15 plays, the offensive consistency kind of continues. And that is something we've been kind of lacking seeing, especially last week against the Ravens, because that first quarter was so good and we didn't convert in the red zone, which is another key. And after that first quarter with the Bears offense moving the football, things kind of fell completely flat because we couldn't run the football. And Caleb, I don't think, was getting some of those easier completions to kind of get himself in the rhythm, get himself to feel like he is going to be in a ball game like this. And I really think the Bears versus the Bengals is going to have a good shot at being a good game. But I think with all that said, my pick is going to be, I'm going to roll with the Chicago Bears in this game, and I'm going to roll with the score of 24-20. I think, one, we're talking about this Bears defensive unit. I think the turnovers are a thing that's going to start to come back. I think the turnovers are going to be there. Even though the Bengals, they turned the ball over 11 times as an offense. Bears only 6. Bears have created 16 turnovers. They didn't get any last week. I think if you're able to get some pressure in the offensive line, it's not that great. I think you cause havoc for Flacco and or Browning, who's ever going to be able to play a quarterback. Then on top of that, even though the Bears' wide receiving group is a bit hurt, the Bengals' secondary has not been great. Whether we're talking about Cam Taylor-Britt, Geno Stone, Jordan Battle's just not been great. And I think when we're talking about the Bears of the injuries, I think Odunze and DJ Moore are more likely to play. So key is we're going to have to see. Kmet with the back injury. The back injury is tricky. Colston Loveland, I think, is going to be more involved. And I think Ben Johnson is going to try to do a good job of doing that. And I think he's going to have some completions earlier when we're talking about Caleb. And I think the Bears are going to be able to run the football, control the clock. DeAndre Swift, questionable, but I think he's going to be good to go. And my young guy, I think having those two guys running the football, I think is going to do wonders for you to sustain drives, get yourself in some of those third down and short situations, and make you able to convert some of those and continue drives going. And then with the Bengals offensively, I think if you're going to play into their hands kind of if you're going to score quick, but I don't think this Bengals team, if Browning plays, is going to do that. And I think the Bears are going to be more privy to stopping the run, and I think they're going to do a little bit of a better job at it at this game, in which I think this is going to be close, but I still think the Bears are going to win 24-20 to kind of get themselves out of a little bit of a schneid at the last week. But that is all I have. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. Continue to help this channel to grow. Trying to get to 6K before the end of the year, and clicking that subscribe button and notification bell will do a great job of getting me there. 150 subs away. Come on, guys. I know you can do it. But that's all I've got. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.